Alrighty, everyone. Here we are. Go ahead and give us a like, follow, and subscribe on YouTube, Twitch, and Twitter to show us the support for Cleety Studios and all of our projects. It has been a minute since I've had a stream up. We're kind of in the off season, hoping to end that here soon, get some prospect sets, a tournament, something going. But in the meantime, I figured I'd go ahead and try to get some clarity going from everybody. So here I have the CSRL Season 1 doc. This was updated from last season's doc, and I'm just going to give a general summary / overview of all of it, make sure it makes sense, and make sure everybody understands what they're coming into for Season 1. Alright, so CSRL is a 3v3 draft league. It's for new players will be put into the draft. Returning players will either get to re-sign with their team or enter free agency. You'll be able to choose what teams you sign with after your first season. It's completely mutual, so if a team doesn't want you, you can't force yourself there. The league operates using its own Discord currency, not cryptocurrency. The league operates using its own Discord currency to reward players for participating in the league, and then we give out NFTs at the end of the season for league winners. NFTs will also be sold to help promote and fund the league. The goal is to provide a competitive, enjoyable, long-term environment for a 3v3 league. Cleety Rank, that's another thing we have going on, okay? A little different than the league. Cleety Ranked is either 1v1s or 2v2s. They're user-made matches. So in the 1v1 sense, you kind of get to pick your opponents. People will sign up, and you get to pick and choose who's going to go against who. In the 2v2s, you guys just sign up and pick and choose between the 2v2 matches. All sets are best of 3. Each game of the set counts towards your win-loss record. And we follow a MMA or UFC structure, so your record and any titles are persistent. They never go away. It never resets. The top tier players will be given title shots. Once a player possesses a title, they must defend it weekly, or it may be stripped from them. They may grant as many title shots to anyone that is at least ranked in Cleety Ranked. When defending weekly, they will be required to choose one of the top 3 ranked players to defend their title against. As more titles are introduced, the system will be tweaked. Pretty straightforward. I kind of lightly did it last season. This season, I'm trying to double down on it. Get a broad range. You have 3v3 games. We have 1v1 games, 2v2 games. Getting a little bit out there for everybody. Easiest way to join the league. It's open to all players and skill ranks, any region, although we do operate on an EST-based schedule. Just fill out the sign-up form. So that means if you're EU, if you're West Coast, if you're Central, wherever you are in the world, you're welcome to play. It doesn't matter what rank you are, you're welcome to play. But the league itself will operate on an EST standard, so when there's a match, it's going to be 10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. I'm not going to be adjusting times or league operations outside of the Eastern Standard Time schedule, unless maybe very minor exceptions. Like I think I moved it depending on I had 2 West Coast teams going at it, and I was like, well, both of them are West Coast, might as well move things back to their time a little bit. Code of conduct. This is super straightforward. Cleety Studio Code of Conduct is a complete guide to a standard we want to uphold as a community. It governs all interactions within Cleety Studio and outlines how we expect members of our community to represent us. League managers, media, and all staff are expected to uphold a mature, respected, and well-spoken demeanor among all members of the Cleety Studio community. Basically, I don't want my staff in arguments. Arguments are going to happen. I don't want you bickering. I don't want you stooping to the level of whoever you're arguing with. You need to be the bigger man if you're going to be on the staff team. Bullying, slurs, racist, and sexist remarks and threats are not condoned in Cleety Studio. Any threats, suicidal threats, and references to someone else being harming themselves will result in an immediate suspension. All offensive slurs will not be tolerated. This includes referencing offensive slurs as well. Under no circumstances will a slur in a negative way or attacking way be acceptable. This includes slurs on gender, race, sexuality, mental disabilities, etc. The use of these slurs will result in an immediate timeout followed by a ruling from the appropriate staff. So, just to break that down, basically, you say anything racist, sexist, use any kind of slurs, you bully anybody, you threaten anybody, you're guaranteed a suspension. A suspension will come your way. But that won't be all of it. In the lowest case, in the easiest scenarios, you're just going to get suspended, and that's about it. Maybe I'll take some of your Discord currency. Who knows? It really depends on the context. Because like if it's two friends arguing or whatever, if it's not actually that serious, you know, there might be a little bit leeway room, and I might just leave you with suspensions. But the majority of people are probably going to end up getting booted for violating one of these things. I'm not a fan of bullying at all. I don't like bullies. Slurs are super, super offensive and disrespectful. You're going to get booted for that. Same thing with sexist and racist remarks. I don't fuck with any of it, and you'll get booted more than likely. So just don't do it. Just be minorly respectful. I literally made a banter channel for people to talk shit in without like having to get this far. Any posting of content deemed to be inappropriate by the management or moderation team is not allowed. This content includes, but is not limited to, spreading of pornographic or disturbing imagery / videos. Intentionally abusing gameplay bugs and glitches is not allowed. This includes, but is not limited to, abusing maps or any other glitches that may arise. And then sending in false or edited snapshots, pictures, video evidence, bribing, lying to, or deceiving league staff is prohibited. This includes, but is not limited to, submitting false reports, appeals, and falsifying Discord messages. Any collusion between players or teams to intentionally alter a match result is also prohibited. Basically, right? So with this, just don't post anything you wouldn't want your mom to see is the easiest way to put it. Like, don't come in here. I don't want to see dick pics. I don't want to see anything related to a dick pic. I know I do want to see some titties, but you can't do that in here. No titty pics, none of that. Nothing pornographic at all. And then nothing disturbing. I don't want to see somebody get their head cut off. That's not going to fly here. Nothing like that. Intentionally abusing gameplay bugs. That's more so for other games. I don't think Rocket League's that big on that, but still, don't abuse something in that map. If you figure out that Epic Games released something and now you can abuse it in Rocket League, don't do it in league games. It'll get you suspended. It costs your team the game. Your team will hate you for it. And then when I ask for anything involving pictures, snapshots, or video evidence, do not tamper with it at all. Just send me what I asked for. Don't lie. Don't Photoshop. None of that. You will get yourself kicked from the league so fast. Doxing can be classified as revealing any private information, including but not limited to family information, address, or anything that is not public knowledge about a player. I will boot you for that. Do not do that. Inappropriate usernames, profile pictures, and game statuses are not allowed. Anyone. So this is a little bit less of a big for me, as long as it's not pornographic, and as long as you're not like going above and beyond with some edgy or like cruel message in your game status. I don't care. Really don't care. So there's that. Just be smart. Common sense. Come on. I will boot you if you do something stupid, but just common sense. Toxicity is defined as continually directing impolite, harsh, or discourteous messages to other members of the community. We have a banter channel, guys. There's no need to be toxic to each other. If somebody's not in the banter channel, don't talk shit to them. That's the easiest way to put it. And then, like, on the other end, if you join the banter channel and somebody talks shit to you, you can just leave the banter channel. You joined the banter channel. You signed up to have somebody talk shit to you. So, you know, it goes both ways. I'm going to suspend people that are overly toxic or toxic in the wrong areas, and I'm going to leave people out to hang if you signed up for something and then complain when your feelings get hurt. I'm sorry. It sucks. Leave the Discord channel. Like, it's an optional channel. You don't have to be a part of it. And then lastly, not safe for work content. CleanDG is a safe and professional environment. That being said, no, not safe for work content will be permitted. Any content deemed by the staff deemed to be inappropriate for 18 and under will be removed, and anyone involved in posting or spreading of that content will be timed out as the appropriate staff reviews the situation to make a ruling. So I could totally just boot you. That is potentially what will happen in a lot of these cases, because I have people who are under the age of 18, and that is illegal for them to be getting any type of sexual content from anybody. So don't do it. Don't post it. I don't want anything to do with that and Cleedy Studios. Easiest way to put it. I'm going to move on from that right away. Operations. Here we go. This is what everybody wanted to see, I'm pretty sure. Off-season is where each season starts, and it involves a handful of unique operations that we will break down individually. The off-season is the only time new players may join the league. I should put, like, with exceptions, because, like, I have allowed people to join mid-season before. It just depends on the league needs. They will be marked as a prospect. Teams may ask them to play some matches with them to learn about prospects. During this period, you guys know I'll also be hosting prospect sets myself, so if teams aren't hosting them, I'll be hosting them. First order of business in the offseason is the re-signing period. At the end of each season, the first thing every team must do is decide who to re-sign. Teams have a set amount of deals with set values that they may offer to a player to help convince them to re-sign with the team. If a player is not re-signed for one reason or another, they will be added to the veteran free agency pool. Veteran free agency. This is the first chance for teams to sign players to their team. Any player that wasn't re-signed by their team and is in a veteran free agency pool is eligible to be signed. Players are signed by reaching a mutual agreement with a team on their player deal. Teams have a set number of player deals with a set number of values that they may offer to convince a player to sign with them. Upon sorting out those details, the signing is submitted for confirmation and then announced as official by the league. Players that aren't signed during veteran free agency are then moved to the normal free agency pools that open during the regular season. So basically, let me break that down real quick. We'll do re-signing and veteran free agency real quick. So season ends. A captain just looks over his roster. You're looking over your roster. You see 3 players. You only want to re-sign one of them. So the 2 you don't want to re-sign, they go into free agency. Even if they want to come back to play for your team, if you don't want them, they go into free agency or they retire, one or the other. And you're going to reach out to the player you want to re-sign, ask him if he wants to re-sign. If he says yes, you're going to offer him a player deal, which we'll get into later. If he agrees, he's back on your team. The players that didn't get re-signed, they go into veteran free agency. At that point, I'll have games for them to display their skills, but they can also reach out to teams and captains to say, hey, I'd be interested in playing with you. I'd be interested in playing with that player, whatever. And if they hit it off with a captain can offer them a player deal at this point, and they can sign with that team. Completely mutual. Basically lets you pick your teams past your first season. It gives a lot of power to the players. So I'm hoping that doesn't get abused. It probably will, but I'm hoping that doesn't get abused. And overall, people just enjoy the freedom that I've given them to build their own teams in a structured league like this. The snake draft. So this is different than last season. Last season I went with an auction draft, and while I really loved it and would have loved to keep it, the snake draft I feel like is going to offer a little bit more stability now, since I'm going to be helping and assisting and managing all franchises and teams. I think it should be a little bit more balanced and easier, so especially since I can't bid against myself. But so snake draft is the first chance to sign new players to the league. Teams take turns selecting players in a set order. This process will rinse and repeat until every team has had the chance to fill their roster. I believe the roster minimum is 4 again this season, so the captain counts towards that if they intend to play. And this draft will occur after free agency and whatnot, so these players will be added last. There's also specific player deals set aside for people that come through the draft. All right. Regular season teams compete in an EST-based set schedule, with a match being a best of 5. Teams will play each other in the division at least twice. A team's record during the regular season will determine their seeding in the playoffs. Pretty straightforward. Okay, here we go. Teams will be permitted up to a 6-man active roster, 3 starters, 3 subs. Teams are also permitted 2 team staff members. The league will appoint a team manager to handle drafting / team building until a captain for a team can be found. That's basically what I'll be doing. Schedule. The league schedule will operate on an EST-based schedule. The match dates and times will be set before the season launch. Just like last season, before week 1, I'll get all the dates and times together and post them out on a long, hard schedule. These dates will be used as default for scheduling. Teams will be allowed to mutually reschedule any set so long as a 24-hour notice is given. That's kind of a loose rule right here. 24-hour notice is given. I have let people reschedule the same day. I let people reschedule within an hour's notice. It really comes down to both teams are mutual on the reschedule, on whether or not I'm going to require that 24-hour notice. If no notice is given and a team cannot make it scheduled date, the team that was available for the match will receive the win. The playoffs will operate on a similar system, except teams will need to mutually agree to reschedule, and an admin must approve the reschedule. Regular season free agency will open at the start of the regular season and end at the 4/5 mark of the regular season. During this time, any players that are not drafted or currently signed to a team may be signed under the same system in place for their veteran free agency period. Pretty straightforward. So if you were released from your team, you go into veteran free agency, nobody signed you, you make it in the regular season free agency, you can, once again, still be signed. It just depends. You have plenty of opportunities to make a team, basically, is what this means. Playoffs. After the regular season, teams are seeded in the playoffs based off the regular season record. Playoff matches are best of 5, except the finals, which are best of 7. Playoff sets are single elimination, so once you lose your set, you're out. There's no loser's bracket. If you lose your set, you're eliminated from the playoffs, and your season is officially over. He said, couldn't have said it better myself. Player movement. Players can be moved around the league through signing, releasing, and trades. Each has its own restrictions and benefits. Signing. Players may be signed during the offseason, re-sign, and free agency period, and during the regular season free agency period, so long as a team does not go over their roster maximum of 6. Teams have a set amount of set player deals. We're just gonna say a set amount of player deals they may offer to players to convince them to sign with them. Player deals. These are what a team and players agree to. This will allow a player to earn a set amount of currency for participating in the league. I should put Discord. Set amount of Discord currency for participating in the league sets with their team. Player deals are as follows. Rookie. There's no limit. You can have as many rookie player deals as you want. They can only be used on rookie players. They get 350 coins for each set they are active for. They do not need to be active at game time, or they need to be active at game time. They do not to be in the game to play. So, like, if I see you talking in your team chat, or just in the Discord, or on standby, you're in the lobby, whatever, you'll get 350 coins just for that. You don't have to actually play. The minimum, which also is no limit, can be used on rookie players and any player that is on their first season with a team. So you go into free agency and you go pick up player X who has never played for your team before. You can give them a minimum deal. They earn 250 coins for each set they are active. And this is also another thing. So good rookies, you can offer that rookie deal to. Bad rookies, you can offer that minimum to. It's a 100 coin difference. Not that it really matters. This is not coming out of your pocket. The coins come out of the league's pocket, and the coins are used for a multitude of features and games within the Discord. They earn 250 coins for each set they are active, blah, blah, blah. A standard deal. So you only get 2 standard player deals. They can be used on any player except for rookies, new players, returning players, etc., etc. They earn 500 coins for each set they are active at. Then you have the veteran deal, which you also only have 2 of these. They could be used on any player that is returning to their team for a consecutive season. So it can't be used on rookies or new players to the team. It has to be on somebody who is returning to your team. They earn 800 coins for each set they are active for. So that's a big difference. That is a big difference. If you can get that veteran deal as a player and you're actually using your coins, that is big. That is big. And then the last thing we have is the max deal. You can only have one of these. They can be used on any player except for rookies, and they will earn 1,200 coins for each set they are active for. It's humongous. The lowest deal is giving you 250. This man could make 1,000 more coins than that. But each team can only have 1 max player, and you don't have to use this. So the minimum roster is 4, right? You could do 2 standard deals and 2 minimum deals, and there you go. But if I'm a player and I'm invested at all with these coins, because we have all these games in development, etc., for these coins, I want that standard, or I want that veteran deal, or I want that max, to be fair. And then lastly, we have emergency signing. Free agents may be signed during the regular season at a predetermined flat rate for 1 set. They will earn 150 coins for that set. So, like, last minute, you can't get a sub. The other team doesn't want to reschedule. You can emergency sign a free agent. They only play for that 1 set, and they get 150 coins for playing. Call-ups. Okay, so this is another thing I got. I got franchises going on for this season. Basically, what a franchise is it's a team from each division under one roof. Okay, so the teams keep their names, but they're given a franchise to put them all together. So teams from each division will be paired together to create 6 franchises. It's probably going to be 5, I don't know. Each franchise will feature 1 team in each division. Teams may call up a player from a lower division to fill it for a set. Players may not fill in lower division sets without league approval. So what that means is basically you can't get an emergency free agent. You don't have a sub on your roster. You can go to the 2 teams that are in your franchise that are lower than you. So in the case of like the development division, there's nobody lower than you. Unfortunately, you'd be SOL. But for the most part, for a major team, you have 2 teams to pull up for. For a challenger team, you have 1 team to pull up for. And there is going to be cases with borderline players where I might allow them to fill in a lower division set. That's why it says you need league approval for that, but that's going to be few and in between. So call-ups are really just another way to make sure that teams can field enough players to play. I don't think we had any forfeits last season, so I'm just trying to make sure that we don't have any forfeits this season. Releasing. Players may be released from a roster during the offseason and during the regular season. During the regular season, a team roster may not go below 3 players, meaning you may release 1 player below the roster minimum of 4. If a player is released, they become an eligible free agent 1 week after their release, unless the league provides an exception. Basically, what that means is Uh, during the regular season, like when you're actually supposed to be playing games, your roster cannot have less than 3 people. The roster minimum is 4. You can go one under that, so you can have just 3 people. But you'll need to sign. Like, I will pressure you to sign somebody. You'll still be able to play. There will be no restrictions. But you will not be able to drop below 3 players. That's the lowest you can drop to during the regular season. And then if a player is released, for the most part, it'll take 1 week. So you get released on Tuesday. Next Tuesday, a team can sign you. That's just to more so prevent abusing the system, and then also, if any players wanted to force their way off of a team, you're gonna get a 1 week buffer. And I think what a lot of people just in general have got to realize is you got to play games. No matter what, you got to play games. So, like, I might want you on my team, and you might be trying to do some shady shit to get to my team, but I have to play the game tomorrow. And if I have a 1 week cooldown on you, I'm just going to sign somebody else. I'm just going to go pick somebody else up who can play right away. So keep that in mind. Forcing your way off of a team through a release is probably not going to be the play. But who knows? Trading. Teams may trade players between their roster. Teams may also trade draft picks between each other. Teams may only trade the next season draft picks. All trades must be approved by the league. Okay, so this is going to be a little bit of an iffy gray area. I'm going to be managing a lot of these teams, so I'm hoping there's not going to be a lot of room for abuse or errors here. But basically, my thought was if you didn't need your draft picks for whatever reason, you could trade them. You can also trade players. Their player deal goes with them, so you don't really have to worry about a salary cap or anything like that. And then all trades must be approved by the league. That's just so I can make sure nothing's extremely one-sided, rigging the league or anything like that. And I also don't want teams destroyed. I don't want a team trading away their draft pick next season when I know the captain's not going to be there. Because, like, that team is not... I'm not going to deal with that. Basically, I'll veto that trade. In-game procedures. Players will be competing in a 3v3 game mode. All members must be in the lobby and confirmed ready before a match can start. Game delay, unless instituted by the league staff. Teams are allotted 15 minutes before they forfeit the set. It is the player's responsibility to communicate with their team, and it is the captain's responsibility to communicate with league staff about any foreseeable delays. Disconnects. If a player disconnects during a game and the timer inside the game reads 1 minute or less and no goals have been scored, then either team may... You see, I might change this. I don't know how I feel about this right here. I feel like if it just reads 1 minute or less... What? During a game and the timer inside the game reads 1 minute or less. I think that it means that it should... Excuse me. It should mean that less than 1 minute has been played. That's what it should say. 1 minute or less has been played and no goals have been scored. Then either team may request a remake of the game. I'm going to have to... Or less has been played and no goals have been scored, and either team may request a remake of the game. This is subject to league staff approval until the league staff approves the remake. Players are expected to continue playing the non-remade game. Each team may receive up to 1 remake each game of a set unless otherwise stated by league staff. If a remake does occur, teams may make substitutions. Okay, this happened last season, actually, where there was connection issues, and I think we ended up changing servers or something. But basically... if you guys need to request, and I think I'm just going to do this. I'm going to do this first off. I'm just going to get rid of that because I don't agree with that. Okay, if a player disconnects, reads 1 minute or less has been played, either team may request a remake of the game. Basically, for whatever reason, you guys need a request. Stop playing. I'm almost always streaming, or somebody for the league is streaming, an admin, somebody will be able to be there to approve this. Stop playing, immediately message me over Discord or through the Rocket League chat in game and ask if we're remaking the lobby. And that's basically it. You want to do that right away. Do not take your time doing that. During setup time, the hour leading up to that match, this is pretty straightforward. Every player on each team must be available for any communication requests from league staff. Please properly test and ensure that all hardware and software that the player will use is working with no material defects or other issues. Basically, Go to the bathroom, make sure you're updated, make sure your PC is working, whatever, your Xbox, and make sure you know you're good with your team. It's up to you guys to let your captain know that you are not available or are available. I won't know if you're available or not. Reschedules, we already kind of went over that. Both parties agree to reschedule, make it happen, blah, blah, blah. Online play, the default server for all games is Eastern Standard Time unless stated otherwise by the league staff. The match must be set to 5 minutes. Final outcome, yeah, it's pretty straightforward. Team operations, the bulk of responsibilities will fall to a team's captain or staff until a captain can be appointed to lead a team. The league will handle drafting and managing teams and franchises. Teams will need a team name. Name must follow standard capitalization rules. Must be 3 words or less, and the team name must not violate the code of conduct. Roster management, whether it's trading, releasing, drafting, or signing players, the responsibility falls to the team to manage and operate itself, specifically the team captain. I do not want to be handling roster management. I will be this season, but like, if you're a captain, this is you, man. This is all on the captains. Team, staff, and playing. Any member of the active roster may fill any team staff position except for general manager for the team. They are a member of the team. Except for general manager for the team they are a member of. If a team staff member wishes to play for their team, they must reach an agreement and count towards their active roster. What the fuck is this? May not exceed 20 letters. I don't know about that one. Oh, you know, I bet you that was for something up here, and I just cut it off. Oh, well, no care. Currency rewards. The main way to earn currency is through playing the season. Players will be able to earn... I should put Discord. Currency on a weekly basis. The amount depending on their player deal. Not plate. The currency can be awarded through our Discord bot and soon through our own crypto system. I'm just going to get rid of that because I'm not doing our crypto system for currency. Through our own Discord bot. Like, don't let that fool you guys. We do have our own crypto out there, and it is going to be used for reward currency for Cleety Studios, but that is not coming to any of this anytime soon. It's more of an optional thing that players can opt into right now. We're not going to force anybody into it, and I'm not really going to get into it right now. NFTs and rewards. The league will create NFTs for the purpose of marketing / fun creation, such as team theme NFTs, and for rewarding teams and players for reaching certain accolades, such as winning the Cleety Cup or Challenger Cup. Everyone will need to create a Crypto.com DeFi wallet to receive any awarded NFTs. If a wallet is not created, they will be accepted by the league on the award winner's behalf. The league is not responsible for any NFTs being set to the wrong address, so please double check your information. Basically, the NFTs are just fancy pictures that you can list and sell and keep and hold on to, set of your profile pictures or whatever. They're gifts, etc., etc. They're custom made by the league. They're usually trophies, rings, stuff like that. And that's basically it. If you guys had questions about this, you can reach out to me over Discord. I am a Willix Define, I'm pretty sure. And I'm going to have another video up here shortly to go over some of the Discord stuff. But that's going to be all for now, guys. If this was helpful, go ahead and give you a like, follow. Go ahead and give me a like, follow, and subscribe on YouTube, Twitch, and Twitter. And I will see you all in Season 1.